Pastry chef Duff Goldman rose to fame with his cake decorating show, Ace of Cakes, but now you can catch him in the new Food Network series, Buddy vs. Duff. The show will see Duff face off in an epic baking battle against cake boss Buddy VALASTRO for the chance to be crowned the king of cake. Take a look.
It's the baking brawl to settle it all. Buddy VALASTRO, the cake boss,
People want to see who's the best.
will battle his rival, Duff Goldman, the ace of cakes.
I can't believe that's a cake.
I am twice the baker.
Duff has no idea who he's going against.
This is going to be a real competition.
Who's the undisputed king of cake? Series premiere, Buddy versus Duff, Sunday, March 10th at 9 on Food Network.
Yeah,
Because I spread.
Woo! Welcome. We're so happy to have you.
I'm happy to be here. This is great.
Yeah, that was a quick on. You're like, I'm just going to take up this whole cast.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Well, this is so exciting. Tell us about the show.
So, you know, I'm the cake guy. Buddy's a cake guy. Like, we both, like, two guys on TV that have been making cakes for a long time. We're both really good at what we do. We're very different people, and I think we have very different fans. You know, we got just like two big groups of, you know, people that like us. And for years, people have been like, all right, who's better? Come on, who's better? You know, because it's what we do, right?
Yeah.
Like this, we like people. We need to, I don't know, put people in lists, or we need to, I don't know, kind of like organize those things in our own head. And so I think people are like, we need to see who's better. So we made a show where we would finally find out who's going to be better.
Yeah, I've been
It's me,
watching you
by
guys.
the way.
Yeah. I've been watching you guys tweet each other a lot of shade, and I feel like you are like, this isn't just a show. You're really that competitive between each other.
We really are. Yeah, I think that's would be really nice. I mean, you know, like there's a lot of shows. So like Chopped, there's Iron Chef, there's Kids Baking Championship, where like people are competing, putting their skills against each other, and that's cool, right? Because you know people are like taking their skills and like you know you're putting them next to each other and you're seeing that. But here it's not just our skills. It is a lot of emotion. You know, I mean, this goes way deeper than just who's the better cake decorator. You know.
And how long is the whole competition?
It's 6 weeks.
Wow.
So each episode is, the first half will be a baking challenge. So it's Buddy and I in a kitchen baking stuff. And no sous chefs, no help, just me and him, you know, baking, and then, you know, things get judged. Then we go and we have like a 14 to 18 hour cake build where we have a day and a half basically to make a cake, and it has to be something amazing. Wow. And so each episode is 2 rounds, 6 weeks. It's like a 12-round fight.
Wow, it's intense.
And it's like a fight.
Yeah, no. And on the show, you guys, like, there's so many like various different creations you have to make, like a carnival treat to like even a dog pampering party you guys have to do. Like, that's like, what else? Like, there's any crazy stuff you could think of that you guys had to do on the show?
Well, we had to make cars, but they had to be inside of a car museum in LA. This really cool place. We had to. One of them was a pie competition where we each had to make a pie. And pies are like really hard.
Right.
Pie, like a good pie, there's so much that goes into a good pie. It's not just like a brownie, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot going on. So, you know, these challenges were very sort of technically difficult, you know, which is good.
And the prize is to be crowned the king of cake. I don't know if that comes with a kingdom and a castle. Like, and I guess you get to wear a crown all the time. But what else do you get? Bragging rights?
That's it.
Which is,
I mean, look, I honestly.
Which is all you really need.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. I mean, look. Like, you know, a lot of these competitions, people compete for money, people compete for a show, people are competing for some kind of reward. And the reward here was just, for the rest of our lives, we can look at each other and just be like, you know, I'm better.
I'm better than you. Which is all anyone ever really wants.
That's all I
right?
need.
To look at you like, But so what is your winning strategy? Did you go into the show with like, this is how I'm going to do it? Or did that fall apart? Or did you stick to that strategy?
Well, you know what Mike Tyson said?
Oh, God.
We don't, actually.
He said, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face.
Right.
And, you know, that's kind of what happened. I mean, before we started filming this, I took 4 months off. I didn't film. I didn't go anywhere. I didn't do anything. I had a staycation. I cried a lot, and I trained. I was in my house just baking every single day, just getting better and better and better.
Wow.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was great.
Sounds like the best kind of training I've ever heard.
Totally, right? Yeah.
Baking great
I would
cakes.
love that, like, Lucas shut away for a couple months and you just roll out.
That was training for me. See ya, everyone. I'm gonna go. I mean, I wish I could bake. I watch you and I'm like, I wish I could do that.
Oh man, I mean, if I can do it.
Did your
Yeah.
wife enjoy your training because she just got to like kind of test out everything?
My wife was really happy about training. She's like, why don't you do another one of those shows? I want to do baking all that stuff.
So what is it like working with Buddy? Like, are there specific strengths you have and he has that you know, like, okay, he's good at this, so I'm gonna have to play up this and.
I tell you, he's really fast. You know, he owns big bakeries that make a lot of stuff.
Right.
You know, a lot. Like, you know, we were talking yesterday. He makes, like, there's one cake he makes 10,000 of them in an hour.
What?
Whoa.
Yeah. We make like 5 cakes a week. You know, like, I was just like, wow. So I think his strength is just, he's going to have that peace of mind knowing that like he has enough time to accomplish what he needs to accomplish.
Yeah.
I don't move fast. You know what I mean? Like everybody in my shop went to art school. Except for, you know, I went to culinary school, but everybody else went to art school. So the way that we approach building a cake or decorating a cake, just, you know, the way we approach everything is like we have all the time in the world and we're going to make something that is going to be excellent.
Yeah.
And that's usually a great way to approach a lot of things, except for there's a clock on the wall,
Right.
and when it hits that time, you got to be done.
Yeah. I've seen you on many seasons of Kids Baking Championship, which is one of my favorite shows in existence. And I have to say, I respect how you take the biggest bites out of those kids' food, and you just throw caution to the wind because they might make something nasty, but you respect them enough to take a big bite.
Well, yeah, like I appreciate that. The thing is, I'm usually taking a big bite because I'm trying not to get it on my mustache.
Okay.
So I'm kidding.
Oh.
No,
We were like,
yeah.
I was like, no,
I was like, I don't think so.
Wow.
That would be a problem. Food would get in it.
it does, but you know, we just wipe it out. You know.
And
Makeup for that.
you mentioned culinary school, but you did study history and philosophy in college. So were you always wanting to be a baker? A part of you always wanted to bake? I mean, how did that come about?
Yeah, I mean the philosophy store wasn't hiring, so I had to.
Right, you're right.
You know, find a job.
I got that joke.
You know, but no, I started cooking when I was 14. I was a graffiti artist, and I didn't have enough money to pay for spray paint, so I got a job at McDonald's flipping burgers. I can make 12 Big Macs in a minute.
Yeah.
Yum.
Super fast.
I think that's impressive.
Yeah, I mean it really is. Like 2 burgers at one time, you know? Like,
Buddy's like, I can make 20,000.
yeah, totally. That's the thing. So that was like when I started cooking, and then when I was in undergrad, I got a job at a really nice restaurant in Baltimore, and I wanted to be a chef. Like I wanted to be behind the line, cooking, fire, you know, knives, and the chef was like, "You don't know how to cook. You've only worked at McDonald's, so I'm going to teach you how to bake cornbread and biscuits." And I was like, "All right." So I did that, and I absolutely fell in love with it. Just, you know, baking is, I don't know, man. There was just something about it. I think it's the process. You know, I think there's so much to baking that it's like with cooking, like I kind of, you know, I know chefs are amazing, but like with cooking, it's like a stir fry. Right? You heat up the pan, you put the stuff, you salt it, you eat it, it's good, put it on rice. With baking, I just feel like there's so much more, like, it's such a longer process. So you have more time to think about it, you know, and as a philosophy major, I think about everything. Like, as a neurotic Jew, I think about everything way too much, you know? And so I think that, like, with baking, there's just, I don't know, there's just like an enjoyable sort of length to it.
Yeah.
You know?
And we mentioned your wife. You got married in January.
I did.
Congratulations.
Yeah. She's right back there.
Hi.
There she is.
I heard you had 5 cakes at your wedding.
I had 3 cakes.
3 cakes?
I had 3 cakes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how did you even approach your own cakes? Because I'm sure that was a lot of pressure.
Well, we had, so my wife is very beautiful and she's just wonderful and sweet. And so I wanted to make her like a really beautiful white traditional wedding cake. You know, I thought that'd be really fun. And so we made this cake that was based on her dress, and it was really great. But we also are obsessed with animals. We love animals. We had a petting zoo at the wedding.
That's awesome.
It was great. But we have fish at home. We have a lot of fish, and so we're kind of obsessed with fish. And I liken my wife to a leafy sea dragon.
Okay.
You know what those are?
They're really beautiful, yeah.
They're really beautiful, yeah. And because she's just like really beautiful and very gentle and very deliberate and kind. And I don't know, she's just great. And so I made a cake that was all these leafy sea dragons hanging from the ceiling. And that was kind of my gift to her. And then I'm like a dude, you know. And so we had a cake that was, the bottom tier was made out of meatballs. The second tier was made out of meatloaf. The third tier was made out of shawarma. And the top tier, there it is, the meat cake. And the top tier was made out of scrapple. And then the bride and groom on top are made out of hot dogs.
Yes.
And their clothes is sliced turkey.
That's pretty
That is
fun.
my dream cake.
And then we were iced and mashed potatoes. And then we had bacon roses on it. And then we had a
Food imposters.
food imposters. It's exactly what it
Throwback.
is. There you go. There you go. You watch it. And then we had a chocolate fountain full of gravy next to it.
Oh my God,
That's
that
cool.
sounds
It
delicious.
was great.
Well, since we have you here in our studio, we didn't want to miss the opportunity for you to judge some of our baking and icing skills. So we're going to bring out a couple of cakes. The four of us are going to compete. They're going to put 60 seconds on the clock.
Oh.
And at the end of it, you will pick the winner. Does that sound good to you?
Okay.
Let's each take one of these before.
All right.
Oh, I don't get a
So
cake.
everybody grab. No, you have
All right,
to judge.
I have to judge.
And maybe guide
You
us.
can totally do
All right,
mine.
so
Going.
let's make sure that all these are ready to go.
Yeah.
You know,
Are you
like
starting?
get
No,
your.
I'm going to give a countdown. Ready, guys?
So everybody's.
In
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go.
Oh man, this is Fast and Furious. This is good. Get a little more height. You know what I mean? There you go. There you go.
Height.
Yeah, you got it. You know what you do. You watch a lot of baking shows. Whoa, this is deliberate.
Oh man.
Oh man. Okay. There's
I feel like
sprinkles.
they do-
Don't
I feel like
forget
Martha
sprinkles.
Stewart does this. She goes. She does that. It's all in the wrist, guys. I think.
I think in 60 seconds, it's more just about how much can you get on.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean?
Throwing caution to the wind.
Good. Using the whole plate. You know, you got a lot of negative space here. There you go.
I'm gonna have a story with mine.
Oh.
I've seen this show.
Is it a gender reveal?
You're,
I'm so.
no! Oh my God.
I want another color.
What do you need? Okay, here you go.
Wow, Luke
Oh,
is.
pink.
Oh, here's pink.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, hands up. Step away from the cakes.
I just got destroyed.
Just a big old mouthful.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yum.
Just get it in there.
I'm a garbage person.
Wow.
All right.
Okay. Well,
Mine's a
all right.
mess.
So mine's Harry Potter, if you couldn't notice. The lightning bolt. And
You
the
get story points.
Wow.
Story
That's
points.
beautiful.
Wait a second.
And I love Harry Potter, so we'll just. Okay. What do you got there?
I tried to do a gender reveal, as you said. I tried to do some of that side piping.
Yeah, side piping. Is that what that's called?
Wow.
Side piping.
Side piping.
And yeah, I tried to give it some sort of.
That's good. That's very. I like that.
Wow, that side
It's a
piping
good
really
spot.
put it
Wow,
on
yeah.
the side.
Good
You have
side
some
piping.
technique.
Good side piping.
It's like contestant.
And I went for that like retro-esque graffiti. You said you liked graffiti, so I tried to
Yeah.
like do a throwback for you. And my name starts with an S, and then there's stars around it because you know we're all stars.
Yes.
We are all.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I find that the best art has a muse, and so I was inspired by my 8-year-old niece. These are her favorite colors, and she loves stars, and I felt like she would really love this, like, as a birthday
Oh,
cake.
Chris is really good.
So inspired by my niece, who I love
damn
very
it.
much.
You know,
Damn it.
like when they
I also
bring in,
have a
like, the
niece.
kids and the,
I have a niece.
Yeah.
And shout out to
pregnant.
my niece.
This is my own.
I'm raising 3 children at home, and they love Harry Potter. I'm reading it to them.
I'm a
3
single
kids.
mom.
3
I'm
kids
a
at
single
home.
mom. Yeah.
I'm a single mom. 3 kids at home.
Yeah.
I think we know.
Oh man.
What? No, that's like no. It's so basic.
Excuse me, mine has a personality.
Okay,
It's a little messy, but so is Harry.
Here's the thing. I think that each of these cakes have a strength. This one it's very deliberate. It's very what is it? Intentional. I think is a good word for this one. The Harry Potter. I think we're on a pop culture show. That's a great pop culture reference. I think that's really good. And this one. I mean, I love Monty Python, and absurdist humor is my favorite thing. And You know, I think that's absurd. So that's
Thank
great.
you.
That's great. And, you know, and this one, I think, you know, like currying favor with the judge, I think is the smartest one. I can't pick a winner. I think
We're all winners.
I think we're all winners.
As a millennial show, that is perfect.
Yeah.
We're all
So
winners
happy.
on Bill Brunch.
He breaks it to like 7-year-olds on Food Network. He's like, you're going home. To us, he's like, HEU.
Again, that's Gen
He could see
Z.
that we were too vulnerable.
Yeah, those kids are a little tougher. I feel, you know, you guys
Fair.
want to
That's true.
create an incident.
Well, Duff, thank you so much for being
so much
here
fun.
and judging us.
Guys, this is really great.